because I kept asking and I kept seeking the Lord and I kept saying, God, if this is really where you want me to be, you gotta have to show me. You're gonna have to make it as clear as day. Like, I need this thing to slap me in the face. Like, I was just like I'm being bold. I'm being courageous with my prayers. Like, I'm like, Lord, please, because I really, like, I'm scared. You know what I mean? And everybody's scared to take that leap of faith or that next step or that next level. But you just got to trust and believe and know that God has your back. You know what I mean? Hey fam, the word of encouragement for today is, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. What's up fam? It's your girl Shareen Nicole and I am back with another video. So in this video, we're gonna get this. So in this video, stop barking. Take two. What's up fam? It's your girl Shareen Nicole and I am back with another video. So in this video, we're gonna be discussing how God told me to move from where I was at to where I am now. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. So it pretty much all started like this. Your girl was doing things and not things like bad things, okay? Just like working here and doing what she wants and stuff like that. And you know, there comes a time in your life where you're like, there's gotta be a better way. Like, there's gotta be something more. There's gotta be something more to life out there than just this. It's like, it's almost like, I think my dog agrees. What's the matter? Y'all gonna have to excuse Brady. He over there talking like he wanna make it be known. Hold on. All right, y'all. Now that I finished seeing about Brady, I figured out what it was. There's another dog in the yard and he is like, rawr. Take two. Pretty much the way that it is like, you know, you're doing so many things in your life that you're doing, that you're progressing in, that you feel like you should be doing in your life. And then there comes a point in time where, well, hopefully there comes a point in time for you guys. But for me, like, there comes a point in time in your life where you're like, this can't be it. Like, this just can't be it. This can't be it to life. Like, there's got to be more. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I've been feeling like I'm missing something. And like, people know me because I travel a lot and stuff like that, and I'm always moving from here to there, and Shareen's always on the go and this and this and that. She never sits still. It's like kind of like being a nomad. But in this case, I was definitely not being a nomad. So let's go ahead and get into how pretty much he hit me up, let's just say. So I was at work, and this was at the time when I was at TSA, and things were going crazy. Like, I mean, TSA is always chaotic and stuff like that, but things were just going a little haywire, and your girl wasn't feeling it anymore. I stopped wanting to be there. Like, there comes a time sometimes as well where the grace that you have to be at a certain place has left the building. So, and that's how I felt. Like, it wasn't the same anymore. Like, it wasn't the exuberant feeling that I got when I was working there. And it was like, I felt so proud and stuff like that. So that was like the first sign right there. You start feeling like, this ain't it, you know, there's gotta be more and stuff like that. And, you know, I started turning towards God slowly but surely. It was like, you know, what am I supposed to do? Like, everybody that was working there that was good and good-hearted started leaving. And I'm like, I'm a good person, you know? I'm like, well, why am I still here? Well, everybody's leaving me is how I felt. I'm like, if all the good people leave, you know, like, where does that leave me, Lord? You know? And that's exactly how I felt. And it's so funny because I literally broke down at work and started crying. Like, it was overwhelming. I really started crying. And, you know, one of my coworkers, she was like, don't worry, you know, God is always with you. He's still with you, you know, and she prayed for me. And here I am today. But That's not all of everything. You know, that was just the beginning, and that was just the start. Moving forward, we're gonna fast forward to still being at TSA, but now like videos are popping up on my feed that I never even watched before. Like, you know, I'm gonna put some confirmations up that I've gotten. I'm telling you right now. And it was like, you know, at the time it was like, oh, God told me to quit my job. And I was like, nah. I was like, you tripping. I was like, I ain't quit my job. I was like, no, I don't like it, but I don't know what else to do, you know? So that was what led me to do that. And then that's a whole nother video in itself. And then after this, I started following more, you know, of God's word and stuff like that. And I started reading more of the word, and I started listening to more people preach on the word, you know, like sermons. I listened to Joel Osteen. I listened to TD Jakes every now and again, Sarah Jakes. I listened to a couple of people, but the word just kept popping up for me. And I was just like, you know what? I think it's time. Like, I couldn't bear going to work another day. So your girl left. We'll get into more details on that. Fast forward to how we got to the moving situation. As you guys know, your girl ended up quitting her job. You know what? I'm just going to put this all in one big ball because I don't know if it's going to make sense to like break it up. But if y'all want a little more in detail, because I might be all over the place, like I didn't write this down. Your girl never writes anything down. She just wings it. But if y'all want a little bit more in detail on the whole job situation and how I quit or whatever happened, like y'all could hit me up on that. So fast forward to me not having a job. I'm content with myself. At the time, I've got people in my ear like, oh, you need to get a job. I don't see how you're gonna be, you know, doing what you're doing, and you got a house and you've got all these bills to pay and stuff like that, and you over here not worrying. And you know what? I wasn't worrying because I was trusting God fully. Like when I say to the utmost, I ain't never had so much peace in my life. So I was like content. At the time I was folding my laundry and I'm like, I'm listening to the song. I can't even think of the song I was listening to. It was a gospel song and I absolutely love it. If I could think of it, I'll put it down below. But I was just listening to that and I'm folding my clothes and stuff like that. Now, don't you know, this is how God speaks. In my circumstance, I don't know how he speaks to you, but this is how God speaks to me. So I get a text message on my phone and I'm like, all right, let me check this out. Who's texting me? And I'm like, Great Clips. Now, Great Clips is a company that I used to work for because I'm a hairstylist and I love to cut hair. So they hit me up and they were like, this is out of the clear blue now. Your girl didn't apply. Your girl didn't ask for nobody. Your girl, was sitting there content, left her job. We good. He gave me grace of 2 weeks to do whatever I wanted, I guess. And he sent this text out and I was like, I'm not going to reply. And so, a couple of days go by and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm just minding my own business. I'm cleaning up my house and stuff like that. And here comes another text. And I'm like, Lord, is that you? Like, I was like, for real. I was like, God, is that you? I was like, stop. I was like, what? Because the text message was like, are you ready to join Great Clips? Are you ready to start working for Great Clips? And I was like, how would they know? Like, how would they know that I literally just left my job? How would they know to text me? And then the way it was just like, when God's speaking to you, like the way that it was just so surreal because there were questions that were being asked of me. And it was like, what time of day would you like? What would you like for this? It was like, it was just like Burger King, have it your way. I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, okay. I was like, all right, Lord, if this is from you, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take this job because, I left my job and I wasn't thinking about anything. I said, God will provide. And he sure did. So that job came through. Your girl started working there. Everything was going swell. Like, I love my job. Everything was great. Fast forward to me having to leave. Let's see. Fast forward to me leaving my job and actually ending up moving, because that was like the backstory of how we got to where we are now. I believe that God will definitely give you a word. And when I say a word, I don't mean like a word from the street or a word from a person. I mean like a word from the Bible. Like, for me, that's how it happened. I really don't know if that's how it happens for everybody. But in my heart, I feel like that's what spoke to me. And it's crazy because I was getting ready to do a YouTube video, right? And you guys know I always put the word of encouragement in the beginning of the video for the day. And so I was going through my photos because I took a screenshot of the Bible verse I was going to put in. And I didn't even get to read it yet. And so when I read it, it was like the words jumped off the page. Like, it was like, and I'm so sarcastic. Lord knows, he knows. Listen, we have our own little relationship, okay? So it was Joshua 1:9. I'm going to put it up on the screen and you guys can see it there. And I was like, go. I was like, I don't know where you want me to go. I was like, I done did everything you asked. Like, you know, you told me to start the business. I started the business, which I'll leave a link down below for that as well. But seriously, you know, I was like, I did everything you asked of me. You told me to clean my house, like not clean as in it's dirty, but clean, like make room and stuff like that. You know, I did that. I left the other job. Like, I've just done everything that you asked. I was like, I don't understand. Like, what do you want from me? Like, what? Go where? I was like, I ain't going nowhere, you know? And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, he wants me to move? I was like, no. I was like, no, he doesn't want me to move. I was like, he's definitely going to have to confirm that. And I was just like, you know, in a state of disbelief. And I was like, I was like, it can't be. I was finally getting comfortable with being, you know, where I was at and being alone. That's a whole nother story I don't think I'm gonna get into. But I was finally getting comfortable with being in my space, everything, cleaning up and making space and making room and tidying up. It was like spring cleaning, but just early. It was like spring cleaning in the winter. So that's what I was doing and throwing things out. So that's what I mean when I say clean, like clean your space, like getting rid of things and getting rid of things that you don't need, or just, you know, letting go of things that you really don't need to hold on to, like legit, because your girl has some things that I was like, what in the world? And what am I going to do with this? So that's the space I was in. So when I realized, you know, that scripture and it popped out to me and I'm like, commanded me to go. I was like, when? Fast forward to that. When I found out and got the revelation that I really was like, oh snap, I need to move. That's probably what he's been preparing me for. Like, he's been having me clean and get rid of things and do this and do that and prepare. Like, he literally had me preparing for my move. So when it came down to it, I was pretty much ready. I mean, I still had some things to get rid of because I accumulated a lot of stuff, especially being a YouTuber and try on hauls and all that stuff. I had, after we got past that, I was like, okay, Lord. So I'm like, where is it that you want me to go? You know, and this video popped up on my YouTube channel, and I'll see if I can put it up in here. And I was like, no. Oh, but before that popped up, let me go back. So the confirmations for moving. So now I'm on YouTube, you know, I'm getting ready to make me a video. And then this other video popped up, and it was like, it says something like, you've got to move, or move like you know God's got you, or something like that. Anyways, I'm gonna put it up, all the confirmations. I'm gonna start just popping them up left and right because there was so many, and I was just like, no way. So, you know, if you watch my first video on God told me to move or whatever, and how I was saying you need to be obedient and stuff like that, you know, I was being a little disobedient. So I was just like, I don't want to move. This is not for me. I was like, this can't be for me. When I tell you, I do prayer sessions in the morning with Chantel Ekabe. I'll put her link to her channel down below, but I pray with her every morning or every afternoon. Whenever I get a chance to, you know, watch her video, I pray with her. I'm constantly, because when you don't have nobody and when you're in a state where it's just you. Like, I was in a state where it was just me, but my family was like 2 hours away. You know what I mean? So it was still like, I still have my family and stuff like that. They would come every now and again. But when you really don't have nobody, you don't have nobody on your side, and it's just you and the Lord, like, that's really all you have. So sometimes you have to reach out and find people who's going to be in your corner to pray with you and to fellowship with you and just minister to you. You know what I mean? So there was that. So I was praying with her, and lo and behold, during the prayer, she spoke something, and I was like, what? I was like, no way. And then there was another confirmation. I mean, the confirmations just kept rolling in. It's beyond me, like how it is that he speaks to you, and he's probably been speaking to you your whole life, and you never realized it until you actually started paying attention to him. You know what I mean? For instance, text messages. He even spoke to me through text messages. He was confirming, you know, things through text messages while I was looking for my apartment, which is a whole nother story. But the confirmations just came in, and then, you know, it was like every video that he was confirming about me having to move was moving to Texas. And I'm like, now anyone who knows me already knows your girl really, really loves Texas. I don't know why. For me, in my heart, it was always Austin, Texas. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, I guess, you know, maybe he's saying for me to go to Texas. So I was like, well, that's not too bad, but I was like, I don't want to go, because I'm like, I'm finally feeling comfortable in the space that I'm in. And that right there was the indicator that he doesn't want you to be comfortable. Like, you got to get up and go and do what it is that he needs you to do, because he has a mission for you. Believe it or not, whatever it is, he got a mission for you. Okay. And so I was like, more and more confirmations just kept rolling in about moving. Another video had popped up, you know, confirming you need to move now, and things of that nature. Even confirming it at my job, at my place of work. Like, so I'm doing this lady's hair, and, you know, she's like, oh, I'm coming here. I said, oh, I haven't seen you here before. You know, how are you? Blah, blah, welcome to Great Cliffs, this and that. She sat down in the chair. I did my little consultation on her hair and stuff like that. And we came to agreement that, you know, she wanted some nice layers and stuff. But after that, it was just like, oh, I said, so what brought you here? You know, like, because she seemed a little antsy, and I had to like put her at ease or whatever. Like, it's gonna be okay. You know, when you go to that new stylist and you're like, I've never, you know, you used to your old stylist, but you got to try something new. So that's what was going on there. Oh, and look at that. That's even confirmation right there, because you're used to this thing. You're used to the way you were doing things. You're used to your old life. You're used to doing whatever it is that you do. You're comfortable. And that got shaken up, and now she had to find and trust in somebody else. So that's confirmation right there. Okay. But let's get into the rest of the conversation. So I said to her, I said, so what brings you here? You know, you seem, you know, whatever. And she was like, oh, well, my stylist left, and now I have to find a new stylist. And I was like, well, your stylist left? I was like, well, where did she go? And she was like, oh, well, she went to Dallas, Texas. I said, okay, Lord, there was other instances. This is how it worked now, mind you. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not saying, oh, let's talk about Dallas, or, oh, let's do this. Okay, so now we are on another day at the job, and, you know, I have a guy sitting in my chair, and he's talking, and he's like, oh, this was during Super Bowl time. So we was talking about our teams and stuff like that. I mean, I don't really have a team. Like, your girl likes to watch Super Bowl just for the halftime, okay? And the commercials. So I was like, you know, talking, you know, just striking conversation. So I'm cutting his hair and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you know, so where is, oh, who's your team? Who are you playing for? Or, you know, who are you going for? Are you making any bets? Da 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 da. And he's like, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm going for this team, but my real team is the Cowboys. Y'all, where the Cowboys at? Come on, say it. Dallas, Texas. So So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, okay. And I was just like, all right, I guess this is where he wants me to be. Like, there was other instances that I'm just talking to random people and I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's great. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Dallas, Texas. What the heck? So I'm literally like, okay, Lord, okay, I get it. I hear you. I understand you. And the funny part is, I didn't even realize I was having a conversation with one of my relatives. And this didn't pop up. This didn't pop up until, like, I want to say, I was already packed. I was already packed and ready, to go and stuff. Like, my mom didn't even know. None of my family knew. So it wasn't like, anybody knew to tell me anything. So I had a conversation with one of my relatives, and they even confirmed. They even confirmed, because I kept asking and I kept seeking the Lord, and I kept saying, God, if this is really where you want me to be, you gotta have to show me. You're gonna have to make it as clear as day. Like, I need this thing to slap me in the face. Like, I was just like I'm being bold. I'm being courageous with my prayers. Like, I'm like, Lord, please, because I really, like, I'm scared. You know what I mean? And everybody's scared to take that leap of faith, or that next step, or that next level. But you just got to trust and believe and know that God has your back. You know what I mean? So like that video that came up that said, move like God got you. Like, I was like, oh, okay. So, I'm speaking to him, and this is on Facebook or whatever. I'm speaking to my relative or whatever, and we like, long time no hear. We ain't hear from each other. Da 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 da. And he's like, yeah, I'm moving. And I was like, yeah, I want to move. I was like, I want to move, but I know my mom won't let me. And we're like cracking up and stuff like that, and we're just shooting the breeze about old times and this and that. And I was like, so where are you moving to? And where do y'all think he said he was moving to? Dallas, Texas. So when I tell you, I just got confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. Like, this person, my relative, did not even know that I was already packed, that I was already going, and the only thing that was really holding me back was my comfortability, if that's even a word. Me being comfortable, me wanting to stay in the same situation that I was already in. You feel me? So I was like, okay. And like I said, I've always wanted to go to Texas, and I've always wanted to like live in Texas, like always. But when it came time to the push, and it was like, okay, well, it was almost like a test, like, well, all right, you're going to follow me. All right, gather your things. Let's go. And I'm like, like, I really didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. But there was just so many confirmations and so many things that the Lord spoke to me through people at work, through people on YouTube. So I just wanted to come on here and explain to you guys how God spoke to me about telling me how to move to Dallas, Texas. And like, even to this day, he confirmed it. Like, I was out and I was going to the store. Wait, did I go to the store? No. Oh, I was going to the store. I was going to McDonald's because your girl was hungry. So so even while I was driving to McDonald's, and I was like, I already got my order and stuff like that, and I'm on my way home, and I was like, dang, God. I was like, you really want me out here? I was like, am I really supposed to be out here? Listen, I can't make this stuff up. Like, lo and behold, I looked up, and the car that was sitting in front of me had my exact initials on their plate. It says Dallas, Texas, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna put a picture in here so y'all can see it. Not that y'all know my initials, but you will today. So my exact initials, it was like, that was sudden confirmation. Some of the confirmations took a little time, and some of them, come through really fast. And I was just like, Lord, what? It just amazes me how he speaks to you, and how, you can hear from God in different ways. Like, and I just love it. I just love it. I love him. Like, I just love it. And I'm happy. Like, this is a brand new journey. So you know your girl is doing good, I believe. I believe. But yes, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys. Hopefully this stuff made sense, and I know I was probably a little bit all over the place, but please feel free to leave some comments down below. Let me know if there was something you didn't understand, or if you needed more clarification on some things, and I will definitely hit you up in the comments down below. But this has been fun. Y'all see my teddy bear? Y'all make sure that you watch that teddy bear video, because that's another word for you to help you on your journey. Bye.